almost got killed in an elevator in Las Vegas, which is a wild thing to say. But I was going up a elevator in Las Vegas with Hassan Piker, and we heard a giant ka-chunk in the Conrad Hotel. And we kind of looked around and we were like, what the was that? It was the elevator's cable, I think, doing something very strange. And on the way down later, I was in the elevator with Marsh and a bunch of girls that were staying in the suite with Marsh and his lady friend. And we heard the same noise, but this time the elevator fell like 10 floors. And we registered that because Jarvis looked at like what number it said, and it just went like that. I was like, oh my God. It was like a very strange experience to like think like, oh my God, I'm going to die in a fucking elevator. And it got stuck there, and I was pressing the emergency button and nothing was happening. That was the wildest part, is I was pressing and holding this emergency button to try and get some help, and nothing happened. And it was wild. And then after like 5 minutes of pressing this emergency call button, the elevator finally started slowly going down. And then we got off the elevator and towed the hotel, and the hotel has literally done nothing to amend the situation. They didn't like comp our stay. They didn't do anything, which is fucking wild. So we've been white hatting Karen with Austin Show. We're having him call the hotel and try and get something done. And we will see what happens with Austin Show, but trying to get us stuff. Hopefully they comp something, but it was a wild experience, bro. I was definitely like kind of fucking cranked up. Do you now understand Cutie's fear of airplanes? No, because I'm a nihilist and I felt very little even after I died. I rode the same elevators the very next day. No, I was being honest. The thing I was thinking of in that elevator was, damn, good death. Twitch is going to profit so much off of my passing. Dude, can you imagine the fucking highlight reel that they would have put on? You know what I mean? I can just see it now. Dan Clancy would get on stage and he's like, unfortunately, we lost a pillar of the streaming community yesterday. WillNeff died in an elevator crash. So we've decided to dedicate the rest of TwitchCon to him and his spirit of comedy. We'll miss you, Will. We'll miss you.
We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
Too slow.
Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through. That I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I would do, you were standing there by my side. And now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
It's been a long day without you, my friend. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way, from where we began.
You know we started.
Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
Let me tell you.
When I see you again.
Yeah, that'd be it. God, it'd be such a good memorial. God. The WillNeff Self-Suck Foundation for underprivileged kids would also go insane, bro. Hassan would cry for the internet. Dude, I'm telling you, if I had died in that elevator, I would have at least trended on Twitter for like 10 minutes. It would have been a big moment, man. Who do you think would have cried the hardest? Sear. Sear's a sensitive boy. Sear would have been crushed. I mean, I would have literally been crushed by the elevator killing me, but he would have been crushed. by my passing. All right, everybody's sending me this LSF clip of Miz talking about me. Let's start with this. Let's see what Miz had to say.
No one better on stage, in my opinion, with the improv than seeing WillNeff do what he did. That man didn't even know he was coming on stage until 30 minutes before. And that joke he made with XQC was amazing. I was like, that was so well done. That it was amazing to see Will be creative like that. With the coming thing that he made XQC say.
Thanks to Miz for that. So here's the clip he was referencing, by the way.
XQC.
No.
Show me premature ejaculation, but only do it with your face. Go. Perfect.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I did a show called Name Your Price this weekend at TwitchCon. Please hold your applause. Please hold your applause. And Name Your Price was amazing. You guys showed up in force. I was absolutely blown away by how many people came out and had such a good time. But as I was coming off the stage for Name Your Price, which we'll recap that later, the OTK production crew came up to me and they were like, Will, we had Seer have to bail on the show because he's going to see Chris Angel in Vegas. And apparently Peach booked this show like 6 months ago. It's been sold out like a year in advance. And he forgot he's going to Mind Freak. Will you be our acting teacher for school? And I was like, yeah, how long do I have? And they're like, you need to be back here in 20 minutes. And I was like, oh shit. So I got off stage from Name Your Price, went and like jammed some tacos in my mouth and immediately did Schooled. But they had done a rehearsal and like they had like a character that they wanted to do. You know, all the teachers were kind of like characters. So they're like, you're going to go last. And you're going to be the acting teacher. Great. When they got to me, they were bottom of the show and they were like, hey, we are way over time. So you need to be so fast. Your little bit that you do, whatever it is, you got to do it in like 30 seconds. And I was like, oh God. Okay. And then the other thing that I don't know if you guys noticed, which is really funny, it's really funny, is they handed me the cue cards for what the charades were right before I went on. And they're like, you hand this to one of them. And I was like, great. I was like, how am I going to know if they get it right or not? Do you have another card? And they're like, no. So we were like scrambling, writing down what everything was. The other thing that was really funny that like they didn't capture, which I was really sad about, is when they were playing Dodgeball in that first round, they used safe balls because they didn't want to hurt anybody. But the boxes that they had to hit over with the Dodgeballs were like actually super, here, I'll show you, they were actually like super heavy. So like nothing was getting knocked over. Here, I'll show you. They were playing Dodgeball and nothing was getting knocked over. And this game went on and everybody was exhausted. So at one point at the end, I ran out and I cross-bodied through the blocks.
There you go.
I smashed through the blocks.
What do we get?
And they didn't get any of it on camera. I literally sprinted out.
I couldn't hit anything.
I hit a kid in the audience with crutches, so.
And smashed through. Let's see this. There I go.
Are you okay?
He's already on crutches.
Oh, wait.
So what you didn't see is I went full crossbody send through these boxes and I'm covered in bruises.
Get his ass out of here. Stop him.
Which is why the audience is going fucking insane. I don't know how the cameraman botched that so bad.
That's what a hero looks like.
But I smashed this with my body and the boxes were so hard. And Miz came up to me afterward and he was like, dude, that bit was so funny. The crowd loved it. And I was like, Miz, none of that got on camera. No one saw it. And he was like, no. Oh, someone has it. Yes. This is what happened.
Did we not go ready? Why do we see now? What the hell are y'all doing?
Dude, W Chatter for having this.
Oh, I see him. Are you okay?
He's already on crutches.
Dude, I went full fucking ass out. I knew that I had gone ass out, but I was like, that is like 5 feet in the air, full horizontal crossbody. Holy shit, dude. I'm so glad Canute had a clip of this. Look at my ass. Dude, me Endzone throwing the ball in the air is so goddamn funny too. S-Man chases me off. God, I cannot believe the cameraman missed that, dude. Because I literally run out and I go, this one's for Pokemon. Elvis. Oh, yeah. So the Elvis thing, I wanted to talk about it more on the pod, but Austin was like, I don't know, he was nervous that the Elvis impersonator was going to watch our podcast and get offended. God only knows why. He thought, A, that the Elvis impersonator would watch our podcast, and B, why it would matter if we offended him. The Elvis impersonator was fucking terrible. I'll just say it loud and clear. He was bad. I thought his Elvis character was pretty weak. I think it was weak, not because maybe he's a bad Elvis impersonator, but maybe that's because it was the biggest stage he's ever performed in front of. And granted, I get that. Some of the first few times I did improv in front of like a live audience or like a large audience, like the adrenaline would get in me and I would just be like, oh, fuck. And I would kind of lose the character, but he like lost the character so badly. He didn't even sound like Elvis. And he was like trying to say Elvis stuff, like song titles and stuff to like stay in the character. He was still entertaining for sure. I think there's a value to a guy vaguely looking like Elvis coming out and marrying people. I think there's like an entertainment value to that, sure. But that segment was supposed to be 5 minutes long. And it went for like 20 minutes. And you guys don't know this, but when you're on stage at a production, you have what's called an IFB, which is, it's like a secret security mic in your ear. And so you hear production talking. And like production in my ear was like when we started, like, hey, Elvis is going a little bit long. If we could move this along, that'd be great. Like 10 minutes in, they're like, hey guys, we are way over on the Elvis bit. If we can just move this along, that'd be great. 15 minutes, they were like, guys, we are so far over, we're going to have to cut a part of the show out. You need to cut him off. But like, what they don't understand is it was a fucking wedding ceremony. So what the fuck are we going to do? Like literally, what am I going to do? Jump in and be like, hey, Elvis, what the fuck are you doing? Move on, bro. And like, Austin felt bad because it was a wedding ceremony and Austin is like nicer than I am on stage. A lot of people don't get that, but like he is really tight with production. I'm a little tighter with talent, right? I will correct talent. Austin will correct production. So for me, the guy's a talent, and I tried to correct him twice. I was like, hey, Elvis, we got to get these people married. And he just wasn't getting the note. He just wasn't getting the note, which is so rough. When you're like trying your best to save a performer from themselves, and they don't even get that. Like he just wasn't picking it up. Because I cut him off like twice. I had to interrupt someone during a fucking wedding ceremony. I had to go full-blown comedy Russell and object to a wedding to try and get this performer to fucking speed up his cadence, man. It was like, dude, he was like losing the jokes too, and nothing was landing because no one in our audience listens to Elvis. So like all the name drops of like the Heartbreak Hotel and shit just were like... He should have just fucking immediately been like, do you take this man to be your wife? Do you take this woman to be your you are now married. Done. And everybody would have gone crazy, but he sucked the fucking life out of the room. He just went on and on and on, running up. Oh, here's my hips. Look at this. I'm doing carnival character. But, you know, it was his moment, and sometimes that's live performance, dude. You know, sometimes that shit just happens. The couple was incredible, though. God, the couple was so cute. They were so nice. We had them backstage. They were so awesome and so excited, and I'm so glad that they had a fun time. That's the main thing. That couple was incredible, and I think they had a good time. And you know what a fucking ride to get married in front of a crowd, just absolutely losing it. So that's what made me happy. I'm just giving you guys the tea. That like in my ear, production was going fucking crazy, and we basically had to cut large parts of the show out because the Elvis went so far over, and there was just no talking to him. There was just, short of me grabbing a fucking cane and pulling him off stage, he was just gonna go long. But the show was still incredible. I thought Name Your Price the entire show was great. Honestly, whoever hit the Eagle Screech when they were got the emergent announcement almost saved it for me. That was so good. Yeah, so I don't mean to take credit for this, but yeah, that was me. I went backstage and we were working on the sound effects, and I told them that my sound guy in Chicago, when I used to do Groundlings, would work in a random sound effect every night, one random sound effect, and it would always crush. I don't know why, but just having like an unplanned sound effect that you could hit that surprised everybody was always just gas. And so that was something I learned when I was working in Chicago. And so when we were talking to the sound guy, I was like, do you have any like random sound effects? I was like, the eagle screech is always really funny. And he pulled up an eagle screech, and their eagle screech that they had on their board was so funny that I was like, oh my God, let's just work that into like the haunted board or like just have a call for that. And I guarantee you the crowd's going to go crazy. So we pulled it the first time when we were doing the haunted board, and obviously the reaction from the crowd was huge. So he just went crazy with it, and it was so funny to hear it worked in throughout the show. But yeah, that's just like one of those, old wily vet tricks where when you've been doing this for a while, there's certain things that just play great on stage, and I knew a random sound effect would just crush. One of the other funny moments was somebody came with their mom, and she like didn't know who we were. Someone said, yeah, Will fucks dads to this mom. And she was like, oh, well, I'm a mom. And I was like, well, I would gladly fuck your husband. And I guess she didn't know. She had like never seen me before and didn't really know what to expect. But like she just started busting out laughing, and her kid found me later in TwitchCon and was like, dude, you made my mom laugh so much. The highlight of her TwitchCon was you saying that you would fuck our dad. Which I thought was goddamn hilarious.